From flying to driving to eating, life is suddenly a lot more expensive. And for more on how long these record high prices are expected to last and what Canadians can do to help offset some of those expenses, we're joined now by Sylvain Charlebois. He's the Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. So Sylvain, thank you for joining us. Let's start at the grocery store. Food prices, as we've heard, are up about 9% over last year. Why is that happening? What's driving these sky-high food prices?
Well, there are macro factors. Canada is not alone. This is a global phenomena. So you have to think about COVID and the pandemic and supply chain disruptions. A lot of companies have been trying to get ahead of some of that volatility. And based on numbers that we saw this morning, it seems as though they are more in control of the supply chain than they used to just a few months ago. So things seem to be more under control. The other issue, of course, is Ukraine. Commodity prices have gone up. But those increases have actually worked their way through the supply chain now, and so we're seeing less volatility again as a result of higher input costs.
Would you have any tips for grocery shoppers? Are there any particular foods that people should look for or avoid if they're looking to cut costs?
There are three sections where things are still a little bit rocky. One is produce, but produce is always quite volatile for a variety of reasons, of course, harvest, access. Bakery is a big one. It's been a non-story for 5-6 years. Prices are back up again 10%, quite a lot, so be careful. The last one is the most problematic one, and that's dairy. Dairy prices have gone up, way up since January, and we're expecting another bump in the fall as kids go back to school.
Wow, so another bump on the back-to-school shopping bill. What kind of impact are these prices then having on food security and insecurity overall in Canada?
The two words we're hearing more and more often these days is trading down. A lot of consumers are trading down. They're changing brands. Instead of actually buying a brand they know, they may actually opt for a private label brand, for example, or label product. They tend to be cheaper. The other thing we're seeing is that consumers are changing address. They're going and then going out and visit discount grocers. And the differences are quite significant, 30 to 50% in some cases. And people are noticing, especially with a food inflation rate at 10%. So you have to do whatever you can in order to save money.
You alluded to this earlier, but and I know this is largely a guessing game, Sylvain, but how long is this expected to last?
We actually do believe that the food inflation rate has peaked in Canada about a month ago, which is good news. So we are starting to see the light at the end of the food inflation tunnel. So things are going to probably end this year on a much calmer note. Good news for all of us. Prices will continue to rise in some parts of the grocery store, but generally speaking, you're really looking at a situation that is more under control.
Okay, well, a little bit of good news, so we'll leave it there. Sylvain Charlebois, the Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. Thanks so much.